Well, I painted this bumper and this hood and this fender. Fender doesn't look too bad. The bumper doesn't look too bad. The hood just didn't turn out as good as I would have liked, and that was the clear coat. It's got water drops on it. Harder to see here, but there's one there. They're here and there. So I'm going to wash it off, and then I'm going to hit it with this ultra fine abrasive pad. It's kind of like a 3M Scotch guard pad. It's supposed to be ultra fine. We'll find out. And then I may just go right to buffing, or I may get some 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 pads like this I have, wet sand it. But for now, I'm just going to wash it off and start hitting it with this. And I'm going to put that inside this pad like that and hold it so I have a nice flat sanding surface. I don't want to push my fingers into it, make grooves in it or whatever. So I'll let you know how it comes out, and I'll show you my progress as I go. Well, the Prius is coming along. I'm getting pretty close to being done with it, although it doesn't look like it. I just took the bumper off this morning because my new headlight arrived. I've got one on the driver's side, or passenger side, where it's crashed. I just never thought about doing the passenger side. So it's going to get done. I'm going to put the pieces as much as possible that I have for the bumper. There's a piece that goes on the bottom. I'm going to try to get that attached before I put it back on the car. I think I've got this piece, which is the tow hook cover. I think I have the bottom of this, but I don't have the turn signal yet. Hopefully I think I can snap that in from the front, but I don't remember. I think so. I'm waiting for it. I'm gonna have to check eBay, see what's up with that. What else can I add to this? This headlight, the hole didn't line up right here, so I put a self-tapping screw with the washer on it, so it's in the metal. It's nice and solid. This one lined up all right. Most of this stuff lined up okay. You know, it could have been a lot worse crashing, and I wouldn't have done it because it would have been beyond my skills. Fortunately, none of the frame down in there and the radiator and all that didn't get smashed up. I got the rear bumper painted and put back on. It's not lining up perfect right in here. I got to figure out why. This was damaged before in another accident. I may have to replace this plastic back in here that holds the bumper in place. Maybe it got damaged. It doesn't look too bad. It's just not an exact match. But I think polishing the old paint is going to help make it blend in better. And this thing is the same way. It's just not lining up like it needs to be. Not sure why. If it's the bumper or if I need to make some adjustments on something else. It definitely looks better than it did before I started working on it. It was pretty smashed up. But you can see there, you can definitely tell it's been repainted. But I'm going to try to polish out that paint, see if I can make it blend a little better. But I'll have to sell it cheaper because people are going to know it was in an accident. I would tell them anyway, but it just doesn't look perfect like a body shop would do. And let's see. I got to get a windshield washer tank for it. And then I got to get an extension on this piece of hose and figure out how to hook that up. The old one is over here, and it's got two things on it, connectors. Looks like it's got two pumps. Maybe one's for the back and one's for the front. So I'll have to find both the tubes that go to that, figure out how these things connect, where the wires are, because I just don't know. There's got to be some kind of connector, two-prong connector that hooks up to those. I'm going to have to figure that out too. They're not going to have windshield wipers or washers. And I'm guessing there's probably one on the back. I'm sure there's one there someplace. Maybe it's built into the windshield wiper. Anyway, things I've got to get done. Now, this is a normal Toyota problem right here. They attach this rubber strip at the front and the back, but not in the middle. I had it come off on my Tundra. Same thing. Car wash just blows it right off. Now this one, you can see it's just damaged. I'm sure they can be replaced, but I don't know why they didn't make them so they snap in the whole way. Maybe it's for cleaning purposes. I don't know, but that needs to be addressed. Airbag light is still on. I'm going to bring my scanner out and reset it. I hope I didn't buy a bad airbag. They're not deployed, obviously, but maybe there's a sensor down here that got damaged or destroyed or removed that needs to be hooked back up. I'm not sure. I'm gonna get on with it. I know it's kind of a crappy video, but you know, if you're trying to do something like this yourself for the first time, maybe it'll help you out. I'll show you some other things I do as I go, but for now I'm going to get the old headlight out, get a new one in there, see how much of this bumper I can get put together. I don't want to completely put it on there until I get the window washer tank in there. I think I'll be defeating my purpose, but I'll get as much done as I can. Well, I got this headlight in, and it lines up okay on that screw and this screw down here, but there's a metal clip inside of here, and you see that little slot in it right there. Well, that slot is the opposite direction of this black piece of plastic, so I don't know which one's wrong, the headlight or this black piece of plastic, but I'm gonna have to knock off this tab right here, see if I can get this to go into that slot so I can get the bolt in it. There's a small 1-inch bolt that goes into there to hold this on, and it's just not going to hold because the bolt's not long enough, because this is not fitting into where it belongs. So I'm going to try to knock that off there and see if it'll line up. I tried to break that little tab off with a pair of needle nose pliers, and I got it half off, so I used a hacksaw blade and cut it off, and now it's fit in there and it's nice and solid the way it's supposed to be. So that'll help the bumper hang on like it's supposed to. Now I think this goes to the blinker, if I remember right. This one, I'm not sure. I might have to figure out what that plugs into. Maybe it's for fog lights. Something down there at the bottom. Not sure. We'll find out. Well, I have this piece of rubber. It has a bunch of connectors on it. They've got 10mm screws in them. And I have most of them, I would say, but I can get by with the connectors I have. For the ones that are missing, that goes on the bottom of the bumper. It should just go right where all these rectangle holes are. Snap into there and then screw into place. That's part of the air dam on the bottom, I guess. So I'll get the screws out of there, see how much of that I can get snapped into place, and get the screws back in it. So I got them all out with a pair of needle nose pliers to hold the plastic 10mm socket. Use my electric drill, of course. Now I'm just snapping these pieces of plastic in wherever I can. I'm going to go every other hole right now. See how many I have left. Then the screws will go into those. Looks like I've got 3 left, so I want to make sure I get them in holes that will hold something, not be stripped out. And let's see, we got 2 left. I will figure out some glue or something to hold the others in, whatever it's going to take. I can get one in right there. Snap. And I got one left. I can always buy more of these, of course. That hole's pretty screwed up. That one's pretty screwed up. So maybe I'll concentrate on the front here for now. Snap. Okay. Let me get some screws on those and then we'll figure out what to do next. I don't know if this will show up in the video or not, but I put some new parts on this. One of them was the hood, and I painted it, clear coated it, but it was not the best finish in the world. So I took some gray Scotch-Brite and I sanded it. My intention was to buff it and bring the shine back and get rid of the water spots I had on it. There's one there you can still see. There were a few of them. There's one there that I think I sanded too far through, and I don't think that one's going to come back. I may have to re-clear coat it, but I'm using some stuff for getting rid of, what is it called? Scratch and Swirl Remover by VSS. So I've got my, what is it, Orable sander thing here, buffer. Got a soft pad on it, and I've given this hit this twice, and it's definitely looking better. I'm trying to go right down the middle so I can see what it's doing, but it's probably hard for you guys because of the glare, but you can still see a lot of scratches on this side. This side is actually looking pretty good, except for there where I think I just sanded through too far, trying to get rid of that big old water spot. I'm going to give it another coat or another shot and see how it looks. It might be good enough for this car because it's a used car. It was in an accident. I replaced the bumper, the fender, the hood, the back bumper from another incident in the parking lot. I just bought it to resell it, and I only have a few more parts to put on it and I'm done. That being one of them, that being the other, and the reservoir for the window washer. And then I think I can button this thing up, call it a day. But I'm going to go over this one more time. I'm going to try to keep the two halves separate just for now to see how it's looking, but you can definitely tell the difference. I don't know if you can on the camera, but that's looking more like it's supposed to. And this, of course, I took all the shine away and you can see some scratch marks in there. So let me give it another shot and then I'll do the other half. Hopefully I can bring this back to looking good. So something you don't want to do that I'm doing is working in the sunshine here, but it's early morning, it's not too warm yet. I could pull it in front of my garage, which would be in the shade, but I'm hoping to knock this out pretty quick. Now that's my third run at this, and it's looking pretty good, except right there. I screwed that up by sanding it too much. I think I got rid of all the clear coat. So I may have to get some wipe on clear coat or something, see if I can fix that. But compared to the other side, I don't know if you can see those scratches and stuff, but it's getting rid of them. I'm using a car wash brush. I'm hosing it off. See the hose. So after I get done buffing it, I wash it and I wipe it down, or I scrub it with the brush, make sure I have all the residue off. Then I hose it off, and then I dry it off with this towel. And then I take my leaf blower and go at it so it's really dry, so I can get a better look at it. But it's definitely looking better. I just wished I hadn't sanded through so far there. I could save this hood, and you know, there's another spot there that's pretty worn, so I might have sanded too much there. Wherever there was a big water drip, that's where I'm having problems. Anyway, I'll wrap this up. I'm going to give this other side a few hits and at least make the hood look better. I may end up just repainting the whole thing. I have leftover paint and clear coat. If I do it this time, I'm going to take the hood off and hang it up by the latch here, and then I'll have it in up and down. I won't have to worry about water spots getting on it like I did this time. Well, thanks for watching. If this hopefully helps somebody, if you're trying to buff out your paint, you know, do it in the shade, not in the sun like I'm doing it, but make sure it's nice and clean. You don't want to be grinding dirt into it. So I washed this, scrubbed it a couple times because it's outside and they've been cutting this asphalt and getting ready to put in a retaining wall and stuff, and there was just dust all over the place. So I made sure it was super clean. As you can see there, this car is filthy right now, but I'll take the pressure washer to it and make it look better. Hope it helps you out. Thanks for watching. So I was checking out the Prius a little more, just waiting for a couple of parts to come in. I thought I'd check the air filter, which is kind of dirty, so I'm going to get a new one. That's a tiny air filter. That's more like a cabin air filter. But I noticed the bottom of the box is all broken. In fact, it's missing a piece there. I was going to try to glue it together, but I'm going to have to replace this bottom part here. Otherwise, it's going to let in a lot of dirty air that I don't want in there. I could duct tape it, I could make it work, but I'm not going to. I'm going to hop online and see if I can find a new bottom half of this box. Maybe I'll have to order the whole thing, kind of hoping not, but you never know. It'll be worth it, because this thing, I never noticed it before because I've never checked it. It's shot. So that'll be something else to order and wait for a part. Well, I'm back working on the Prius, trying to kind of wrap it up. It's not going to be 100% because I don't have a blinker over here, but I do have a couple of stray wires up in there that I've got to see if that's the blinker. And I've got the new tank in. It's supposed to have 2 connectors, but I don't know where those wires are, so for now it's just going to be like this. I see there's a bracket there I didn't get in. Anyway, I'm trying to get this front bumper solid so it doesn't fall off when I'm driving down the highway. Now, I don't know if it's the bumper or these plastic brackets I bought, but they're just not quite wanting to clip into place and hold really solid like they should. You can see the fitment right there isn't that great. I don't know if it's the bumper or the brackets. But anyway, I drove this up on these ramps the other day and just about pulled the bumper off because it's so low to the ground. So I put a couple of boards underneath here so I can raise it up a couple inches, 1.5 inches before it goes onto the ramp, and hopefully that'll keep it from tearing the bumper off again because it's really low. It's so low I'm not even sure if I could get a jack underneath there to something solid and jack it up. That's something else I could look at. But anyway, I'm trying to get the rest of the bottom of this bumper, the brackets into it, help make it solid. I got a job offer, it's potential, of transporting foster kids again. I used to do that, and I may just keep the Prius for myself to do that because it gets 50 miles to the gallon versus my truck that gets 16. This would be much more economical. So I'm just trying to get it so it's roadworthy. It seems to run good, drive good, but the other day I was out here and the battery wouldn't start because the battery was going dead, almost dead. And that's just from sitting so much and starting it, stopping it, moving it a few feet. I drove it around a little bit. You see that little rubber shield down there? I may take that off because that's part of it, the problem of it sitting so low to the ground. Maybe I don't need it, we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna get this up on the ramps, hopefully not tear the bumper off, and see if there's a way to make this a little more solid. Well, I got it up there. That'll give me at least a foot of room to work underneath there. I just about missed that ramp, but putting the boards under there helped a lot. It started raising up before it hit the ramp, so it gave me some clearance. But I may go ahead and take that air dam off there unless I need it. I'll get under there and look. Well, I'll get down there right now, show you guys what we're looking at. So, well, I guess there's a piece here that has to connect into this. It's got different brackets, pieces, go to the bumper. Now, these things are bent back at a 90. I don't know what they're supposed to go to. Maybe they went to something and this goes on top of it. Would make sense. I don't know. This is wrecked when I bought it, so I don't know how it was originally. I guess I'm just going to have to get under here and do some looking and see what it'll take to get the bottom of this bumper attached to something, make it a little more solid.